This is Sparta!
Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Tanks. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and I hope you guys had a great weekend. I know I had a pretty good one. Didn't do much of anything, to be honest, other than I got on and played some tanks. So, this first match, basically this video is going to be a double feature featuring two similar yet very different playing tanks. This was requested by one of you guys, so hopefully you guys will enjoy this. And I went the extra step and went ahead and bought back my Jagpanther 2 to showcase its ability versus the requested tank, which was the Ferdinand. Now, I will say this. This is my very first match back in the Jagpanther 2. It's been a long time since I've run this, back in year 1, if you remember. So, since the Jagpan Z100 was my first tier 10, you can imagine how long ago it's been since I've run this. Now, back when I went down the line, there was no other tank. You went from the Jagpanther to the Jagpanther 2 to the Jag Tiger, and then on to the Jag E100. But now you get a choice. And the choice is not too bad. Now, in the end, both end up with the exact same gun. They both end up with a 128, and they are both absolutely nasty when they hit you. So what makes them different? What makes one stand out from the other? Well, you can see I try to auto-lock a tier 9 heavy tank. That's a bad plan. Even with a 128mm gun, that's not going to go in your favor. But the biggest difference between the two is essentially it comes down to three things, but basically two things. The first thing is the Jagpanther 2 doesn't have the armor that the Ferdinand has. The Ferdinand is essentially built on a Tiger P chassis, and you'll notice that the superstructure is much flatter on the front, but it's thicker. So the Ferdinand has much more armor, but the Jagpanther 2 has much more mobility. Okay, so that's your trade-off. One other slight difference that you may or may not notice, depending on whether you've played either tank, is that the Jagpanther 2 has a really sloped superstructure. So even though it's less armor, it can still bounce rounds off of that superstructure, especially if you're on the backside of the hill. But the trade-off is, because of that sloped superstructure, you don't get the gun depression that you get out of the Ferdinand. The Ferdinand gets 8 or 8.5 degrees of gun depression. I think it's 8. And the Jagpanther 2, with the sloped superstructure, gets 6.5 degrees of gun depression. So you can see the big difference there. It's not a lot. It's 2 degrees to 2.5 degrees. I guess it'd be 1.5 degrees to 2 degrees of gun depression is the difference. But that's the main differences between the tanks. So it kind of gives you an option of what you prefer your play style to be. Do you prefer having the mobility to move back and forth like you see me doing in this match, trying to support both sides of the map? Or do you prefer to get up in the brawl and get shot? We shoot there. Now you can see I switch over to the APCR. I'm going to need the extra pin to go through the front of that ST1. And wait for it. And then he turns broadside on, and I didn't need the extra pin, but we set him on fire. So with our first shot, we get 4 hits. Go figure. So keep that in mind. So 1 shell of damage, and there's the second one to finish him. Now the Arties really want my giblets, as you've probably heard. They've been shooting at me non-stop since I've been spotted multiple times. Just narrowly missing me there. But, you know, as an Artie player, you know, you get used to getting shot at as an Artie. You know, it's just as frustrating for me to get killed by artillery as it is for anybody else. Trust me. I get just as angry as everybody else. Especially if it's in the middle of a good game. So keep that in mind. But yeah, so back to the Jagpanther 2 and the Ferdinand. Personally, I'm going to prefer the Jagpanther 2 over the Ferdinand. And there's just one reason for that. and that's this mobility. Being able to go 50 kilometers an hour, relocate left to right to left, over and over again throughout the course of the match, and catch people slipping like that, and be able to get down. You can see my Arties are pummeling these guys. I had 3 Arties right behind me, so it really wasn't in a whole lot of danger. The T-30 fires at me, and he either dirted or he bounced. I didn't really pay attention. But we finish him off. Shoot straight through the front of him with the APCR on the 128. And you can hear all the rounds hitting behind me as I bug out. Again, 2 Arties against you, don't sit still, keep moving. And I was driving in a straight line, so if those Arties were good enough, they could have potentially got me there. Now we have an E50 here, and shot up. Oh, they killed him right, or T-44, I guess. T-40. Yeah, T-44. Now, A-44. And can I shoot him? I auto-lock, and apparently the shot didn't do anything. Again, not sure what happened there, but you know, it happens. So again, just keeping myself mobile. Dip, dodge, duck, dodge, and weave. Right? So, we're coming back for another attack run. We've got T-54E1, and you can see it's been a while since I've used this tank. I used the APCR, and I thought they were a little bit faster, so I didn't aim as far out in front, and he gets obliterated. But this Tortoise, on the other hand, watch this accuracy. Shot out. Oh, whoa, whoa. It missed. Wait for it. We got this darn medium tank on my left. Can I get a shot on him just to get him off? Nope, nope. He's not. So we go back for the Tortoise. See if he's forgot about us. Just cheeky shots over the ridge line. Shot out. There we go. 5.11 right into his commander's hatch. He gets nailed again and then finished off on the ensuing volley. Now we're spotted again. And once again we have this Panther 2. We put a shot into him, get a low roll. But that STA-2 is being a pain in my neck. And as you can see, we have a full health AT-15. Kinda not doing a whole lot to help me here. But it's okay. It's not that big a deal. I will try to make something happen. And it's gonna end up costing me my life eventually. And then this game turns into a big boring waiting game, which I can't stand. But I can understand why it happened, just can't stand it. We have a full health AT-15 that can absolutely just pummel these guys. And he's behind a house. Can he come out from behind the house? It doesn't look like it. It's unfortunate. That STA's spot me again. Panther 2 goes down. So I'm going to push up on this STA. And my goal in this engagement is going to be to do damage if I can, but also try to just get the guy spotted so that the arty can do what they do. I take a quick shot there hoping to catch him. Obviously he caught me, so you never know. But I know he's on the backside of the hill, and there's nothing that the arty can really do right there. So I'm going to try to push him out of the hill. Just pull up, trying to get the gun over so that I can spot him. There, he's spotted around the right side, and we're just going to back down. And I choose this part of the hill because it is the steepest. This steep part of the hill here should keep me safe from artillery. I say should because, you know, generally speaking, it will keep me safe from artillery. But it's not a guarantee. Come on. And you can see I'm just literally just trying to keep him spotted so that maybe one of these 3 artillery that are behind me. Oh, and then we spot the M55 creeping up over there. And I back away from the high spot of the hill. I put a shot into the STA. I bounce his round in return.
That's it. We're 86.
And unfortunately, get nailed by the M12. It's kind of stinks, but you know, here's one of the skip points. We skip ahead to where we can shoot this M12, the AT-15, taking him down. And then we're going to skip again, because this match there, the M55 kills the M12 that ran up to kill their M12. So you know the M55 was over on the right. So then we skip forward. The two already have a chance to joust a little bit, and then it's game over. So we end up winning. I do pretty decent game there. 3,100 damage, 1,000 assisted, 240 block, 2 kills, crew promotion, top of the leaderboard, not bad. So, moving on to the second half of the double feature, we are on Swamp. Now, this is the Ferdinand, and yes, it is fully upgraded, so it does also have the 128mm cannon. And, like I said, it's got a different look altogether. The back of the tank is different. The front of the tank is different. The chassis that it's mounted on, I believe, is different, because the Jagpanther 2, I believe, is mounted on the Tiger or the Panther chassis. I think it's the Panther chassis. And then the Elephant, aka the Ferdinand, is mounted on a Tiger Peas chassis. And so it gets the bonus of the extra armor. But as you can see, I am full throttle right now, and we're doing 26, 25. You know, it's not fast. It's basically slightly faster than an E3. It does have a little bit better turning rate than the E3, but, you know, it's gonna get you into trouble. Because if you get yourself too far, too quick, you'll get yourself into a hurt. But that being said, I come over here towards the right, try to get some cheeky shots, and realize that I'm opening myself up for artillery. Now this is an encounter match, which means they spawn already at the castle. And if that arty's in position, he could shoot straight down this little tunnel and absolutely obliterate me. So, not a fan, I'm backing off. As you can see, lots of medium tanks in this game. Against us, we got, what, 5 of them right there? Five mediums and 3 light tanks. That's a lot of mobile firepower. But the good news is, at this tier, they're going to have trouble pinning the front of me as long as I'm not crazy. So I'm just taking my time, trying to get good shots, trying not to overextend myself and leave myself open. And everybody clears the ridgeline. Oh, there we go. Vengeance pulls up. I put a shot into him. He bounces off of me. Now he's going to try to push up and hit me again. And he shoots the dirt. Using the environment to your advantage comes in handy. Now, I completely ignore him this time. And I want to get back around the corner so that I don't have to fight him and this heavy tank. And we put a shot into him. Actually, that's the Panther, isn't it? Not a heavy tank. Again, when I'm rendering these videos, it's very, very hard for me to actually see. But there we take him down on the second shot. We took, what, 1 shot of damage? 2 shots maybe, max. So, we're doing alright from a damage standpoint. And then I pull back out. And we've got a medium. And we've got the heavy. Now the medium's behind me, which isn't preferable, but this heavy is perfectly placed. And as long as the medium doesn't come up over that ridge line and start shooting me in the back, we'll be fine. Tiger 131, shot. Oh, we damage his gun, but don't do any damage. That's unfortunate. That's what I get for auto-locking. But I figured broadside on auto-lock should pin him. But instead, damaged his gun. This time we do, however, get a pin. And then we get shot in the backside for our effort. So, I can't keep... Yep, here, our engine's busted. That's the one thing I cannot have. I cannot lose my engine. This Vengeance pulls up, we put a shell into him, and then we're just going to push the issue. Because I've got to get him off the board. He's running, he dirts his shot, and we're going to finish him right here. There we go. So now we've got our second kill of the game, 6 pins. And we're turning back around for another go with this heavy. Tiger 131's begging for it. Light tank over here to assist us. There's nobody behind me on the ridge line, so I'm going to probably take the chance. Some rough driving. As I said, this thing is not mobile, so when you're doing reverse, it's just as bad. Now, the light tank got killed. I can't push over that ridge line because they could potentially have more people sitting back there, and I don't want to die stupid things, you know. So, at least preserve myself for the moment. Now, this Tiger 131 is just begging for it. He wants it bad. So, I'm going to oblige him. I'm going to give him my 128mm cannon. I pin him, he pins me. He's going to get reloaded. Can I bounce it? Yep, there, I bounced it, and now he goes broadside on. And that's going to be his game. Not sure why in that situation you want to go broadside on, but it happens. We've all done it. So we win that engagement. That's our third kill of the game. We have 8 pins, and we're just going to keep on trucking. Now, unfortunately, this is where the mobility really sucks. Like, I need to get over there to help the team before their team is able to help them. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, I'm not going to make it in time. By the time I get over there, I'm going to be the last man standing on the team, surrounded by everybody. I don't recommend it. But I got to try. And I know that medium tank's up there. It was an AMX CDC that was up there on the right. And I take the risk. I got to. I don't have a choice. I have to try to get to this, I believe it's Tiger 2, camped out over here by the castle. Well, now their light tank and their tank destroyer comes around the right side, going for our arty. Kill the first arty. The second arty's in trouble. He's running, and inevitably he's going to die. Now, the tank destroyer there I thought was going to be okay, but unfortunately he now dies, leaving me and one arty who's being killed to fend off 5 tanks. Now, can I get a Calabanos? Tiger 2 ran away from me, unfortunately. Now, I'm spotted, so they know where I'm at. The CDC's behind me on the ridgeline. Tiger 2's in front of me. And we want to get the gun down, and unfortunately, we bounce off of the front of his turret. Unfortunate. And then he comes up to ram us to death because Tiger 2 is apparently heavier than my Ferdinand, yet is more mobile. Go figure. So yes, so hopefully that tells you the key differences. 3,300 damage, 1,140 blocked. Top of the leaderboard, not bad. But hopefully that gives you the key differences between, I hope you guys didn't just hear that, between the Ferdinand and the Jagpanther 2, to give you guys an idea of just what the what the strengths and weaknesses of both tanks are. So if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.